Good evening, and welcome to the June 25th, 2012 meeting of the Lake Forest Zoning Board of Appeals. The board is here tonight to work together with all of you, property owners, neighbors, and architects, to continue the tradition that allows community members to work together to preserve the qualities and the unique character that make Lake Forest a special community. We recognize the personal importance of each petitioner's request, and our goal is to respect the requests of the owner while balancing the interests of the community as a whole. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Zoning Board of Appeals, the board hears all requests for variations in zoning and special use permits. The City of Lake Forest is committed to conducting open meetings. To achieve that goal, the board has adopted meeting procedures that ensure that all parties have an opportunity to speak. The procedures are detailed on the agendas available at the back of the room. This meeting is also broadcast on cable television. Speaking on behalf of the entire board and city staff, our goal is to move each petition through the review process as quickly as possible, while at the same time balancing the interests of the petitioners, neighboring property owners, and the larger community. At this time, I'd like board members to please introduce themselves.
Lloyd Culbertson, 4th Ward.
Sam Ciccarelli, 3rd Ward.
Stewart, Dixon, 2nd Ward.
Bob Franksen, 1st Ward.
Jay Kennedy, 4th Ward.
Rosemary Kehr, 2nd Ward. And now, would the members of city staff please introduce themselves and give their titles?
Megan O'Neill, planner.
Kathy Cernier.
First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the May 29th, 2012 meeting. Have all board members had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
And does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The meeting minutes from the May 29th, 2012 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting are approved. Next item of business is a new petition. Consideration of a request for setback variances for additions to an existing structure at 567 Lexington Drive. The owners are Timothy and Heather Richmond, and the representative is John Richert, architect. First of all, do any board members have any conflicts of interest or ex parte conflicts to report?
No.
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 Then all members of the audience who plan to testify tonight, would you please stand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly, could you identify yourself too, please, in your role?
I'm John Richert, I'm the architect.
Thanks. And John, do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is true and correct to your best knowledge? And then at this time, we'd like to hear the presentation from the petitioner.
Since we have a packed house, I'll try to keep it short and sweet.
Thank you.
So basically, for the project that we're looking at today, there's really 3 areas where we're adding on to the house. There's a small area to the front, the southwest corner, which is a 2-story element. On the first floor, it's an open porch and a covered entry. And on the second floor, it's an expansion of the master bathroom area. In the back of the house, you can see shaded darkly on the site plan there. We are expanding 1 story for a family room and for expanding the kitchen and creating a breakfast area. And then what you can't really see on that particular plan is that there's a 2nd floor master bedroom that is over the sunroom, which is the southeast corner of the house. So we've tried to be very sensitive in our additions to keep the house as compact as possible and to respect the neighbors. On the south side of the property, there's a 20-plus foot setback, and our additions to that side of the house, we're maintaining the existing setback and not encroaching any further south. For the family room, breakfast room addition, we actually set the family room back an additional foot from the garage, from that north garage wall, that being the closest point to any neighboring property. We wanted to kind of keep that back. We also kept it at 1 story so that, again, it would have minimal impact on any of the neighbors. And then this again, the second floor, the master bedroom is just above the sunroom, respecting, again, that existing footprint. So the reason that we're here for the variance is because we have a very odd zoning situation in this particular neighborhood. The neighborhood is zoned R5, which is, I think, 3-acre lots with 50-foot side yard setbacks, where all the actual properties in this neighborhood are in the range of 100-foot wide lots. So a 100-foot wide lot with 50-foot wide side yard setbacks basically leaves you nothing, which I think is an obvious hardship, I hope. But in terms of compliance with everything else, obviously we can't do anything and comply with the side yard setbacks. But in terms of lot coverage, building scale, the additions that we're doing to the front and the rear, all those setbacks are still being met. It's really just in the side yard where we just simply, it's obviously impossible to do. You can see on the site plan, I know that this is probably not a big issue here, but there are no existing trees that are being affected. Again, the additions are all within the footprint of the existing house. Demolition plans, first floor plan. So there's nothing there's nothing exceptionally large or out of scale about this house. The areas that we're requesting to be allowed to build are typical spaces that every house in the neighborhood would have or want to have. So the existing house is a 1.5 story. It's got a mansard roof, actually. You can see this is the overlay on the bottom. So the shaded area is the existing house. So it has the mansard roof with a flat roof on top. So we're adding the gabled roofs. And we've been through the building review board already. They've given their okay on this. The gable roofs are actually more consistent, and the 2-story plate lines are actually more consistent with the neighborhood than is the existing structure. And I don't know that I want to go into too much more than that. I know there's the criteria and standards for variation. The first is, if granted that you don't alter the essential character of the locality. Again, I think we're taking a structure and bringing it more into the character of the locality. Most of the houses in this area are full 2-story houses with gable roofs. So we're doing that. We're also enhancing the detailing, bringing it to more of a shingle style versus the old mansard roof. The conditions upon which the petition for variation are based are obviously very unique to this property. To have the 50-foot side yard setbacks and a 100-foot wide lot is obviously a hardship. And then you know, we've tried to be very sensitive to the neighbors and, you know, maintaining existing setbacks and being sensitive with the heights of what we're proposing to do. So again, there shouldn't be any adverse effects on the neighbors or the community at large. So I hope you guys find merit in this, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you. And now we'd like to hear identification of the issues by staff, please.
Thank you, Chairman. This property and this area of town is really a unique and unusual situation. There's an approved subdivision, as was mentioned by the petitioner, that has on average 100-foot wide lots. The subdivision itself doesn't exactly jive with the zoning district, which is an R5 zoning district that requires 50-foot setbacks. We don't really have a clear record of why, but the development in this neighborhood is pretty consistent from lot to lot. And this project is characteristic of development that has occurred in the past. For projects such as this, the variance process is the proper process for reviewing redevelopment and new projects in the area. There haven't been a lot of redevelopment requests in the past year, but every 3 to 5 years something does come up in the neighborhood, and it is moved forward through the variance process, as you're seeing with this project today. The board is looking at an alteration of an existing structure. It's a character change to the house, and the building review board did review that project and approve it last week on the 20th. And I think some aspects from a zoning standpoint to note is that they're not encroaching further to the property line than the existing house. They are trying to work with the existing house as much as possible, but while still giving it the new character that they're looking for. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. The petitioner did go over some of the standards for reviewing variances, and there are positive findings in your staff report at this time.
Thank you. Board members, are there any questions or requests for clarification for the petitioner or staff?
Madam Chairman, I have one question. Is the 50, this is for staff, is the 50-foot setback in the rear yard measured to the terrace or to the structure? To the patio area? Or?
In general, the 50-foot setback is for building area. If there's an elevated patio or terrace, that would also need to comply with the 50-foot setback.
Right. I'm not sure, is it elevated?
No, it's not.
It's not elevated, but there is a wall, is there not? Or a?
There is a seat wall on the
Right.
patio, but the patio itself is 100 feet.
Is that within the 50-yard set?
It's at least 100 feet away from the back property line.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
On my
I guess where I'm going is to make that addition on the east side of the house, you're going to encroach on the existing patio. Is that not true?
That is correct, yes.
And it's a beautiful patio. By the way, it's a very pretty property. But are there any plans to expand the size of the patio because you're losing some of it with this addition?
Not at this point in time. Did you get a chance to walk
Yeah,
the property?
yeah.
Yeah. So the part of the patio that the Richmonds use is the part that's out toward the wall. There's an old. Does this do a pointer? Yeah, it does. There's a little old bluestone patio that actually sits kind of right here, and this is all kind of for the most part dead space that they don't really use. So there's still plenty of space out here to do everything that they need to do without affecting that. And then this line right here, this is the 50-foot setback line. So you
Okay.
can see how much further back we are than that.
So if they wanted to expand the patio area, they'd still be within the 50 at some future point in time. Would they have to come back to zoning board, or would they be within the setback?
An at-grade patio and the seat wall around the patio can be constructed within the setback area, so that would not need a variance to be
Right,
built.
very good. That's my only question.
I'm not.
No questions.
Well, this is normally the time we ask for public testimony. However, since we see no visitors tonight, this is now the time for any final questions from the board, any comments from the board. I open it up.
For comments as well?
Yes.
I just say simply that the Building Review Board has approved the project. All the current setbacks remain intact. Nobody in the neighborhood has any objection. I will vote to approve the variance.
I think it's a great improvement of the existing structure. It's a nice plan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is a really kind of a misnomer in a zoning designation. It's in my opinion, clearly a hardship. They're trying to upgrade their homes like a lot of other people are, and it doesn't really change the character of the neighborhood. It's a reasonable addition, so I'm going to support it.
I would agree with what's already been said, and it's clearly an enhancement, I think, to the property and the neighborhood, so I would support it.
Any additional comments from petitioner?
None?
Any additional comments from staff? Then, board members, would someone care to make a motion?
Madam Chairman, move to recommend approval to the City Council of the requested variance at 567 Lexington Drive to allow for the new addition as outlined in staff's memo.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. And I have to ask the members of staff, do you have any other items tonight on the agenda?
Just to reiterate that there are some items coming up for zoning board review, to please respond to the polls that will be emailed to you in the next couple of days about upcoming meeting dates.
Okay. Then I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So
So-
moved.
Second?
Second.
Meeting is adjourned.